Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in as always. And hello to my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Now, I'm going to be talking about what can you guys expect every day from the 8th to the 15th of August. Now, this is a huge, super time for manifesting. If you look back onto the 17th and 18th, when Mercury Retrograde had started, thank goodness, because the ending is coming on the 11th and 12th. Thank God, right? However, I brought up those dates specifically because when you're looking at, especially this week, look back on the 17th and 18th of July, what you guys were doing. Like, did you start something during that time or end something? Pay attention to that retrograde theme. What happened during that time? So this is what you're going to be reflecting back on this week, even more so. However, Lionsgate Portal, August 8th, that's a huge day, huge day. We also have the Aquarius Full Moon on the 9th. Like, what can you guys ask for more, right? I'm just saying. Now, if you've been following my videos, I have given you guys specific days when to manifest. So if you've been looking back on what days you guys have been manifesting, working on, wanting to set those intentions to, you very well could even start seeing these results coming on the 8th. That's right. So that's why it's really important to be very careful what you want to manifest, because, you know, our thoughts, boom, instantaneously can make something happen. Like that happens to me, and I'm like, oh, Jenny, what's your thoughts, right? But then it gives you that opportunity to resolve these things as well. So you might even find on the 8th, it can be even a little bit more challenging for you. Like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this happened on, the 17th and 18th of July during Mercury retrograde. It can be a little challenging for some people. It really depends on what's going on, what was brought up in the retrograde for you guys to let go of, to resolve. So everyone has their own kind of personal journey. So this 8-8 portal energy, it's a really higher consciousness day. This is when your intuition could be a lot more stronger, and you are getting pulled, if you pay attention, to more of your soul's calling, your soul's purpose, your destiny. It can be a real spiritual day. I mean, this is why I chose this background for different reasons, right? I was going to put like a lion background up and so on and so on, but I thought, no, because this is a very sacred journey. It's like certain things that you have been struggling with, like really struggling with, like, over the past few years, it's been brought up to light more and more and more. It's like, why have I been so emotional? Like, why are all of these certain things coming back? It's not to disrupt your life in a bad way. Your soul brings up certain themes like habits, behaviors, relationships, like things that just aren't working on purpose. So you can release, so you can let go of certain situations that are just not working anymore. It very well could be relationships with people or friends or your partner or so on. There's a lot that's been happening on a deep soul level, and this has been expecting unexpected, and that's going to continue on this week, right? you know I ended up in urgent care myself, and I'm like, oh, God, really? And I forgot it was a holiday long weekend. I work every day, so I don't really, oh yeah, I guess it's Christmas Day. Oh, I forgot. Certain things, right? So we can get that boom. Do you know what day it is? Do you know what you're doing? Do all of those things. So really pay attention, because on the 8th, it very well could, even on the 7th, if you guys pay attention to the videos, the 8th can bring in soulmate, twin flame, reunions, destined encounters even more. So pay attention to on the 8th who you connect with that day, especially if it's somebody of more significance, like a soul tribe, energies like that. We've been letting go of certain situations, as I've said. It's like, who am I in alignment with? Who am I no longer in alignment with? A lot of truth that's going to continue on, and this Lionsgate Portal is all about authenticity and so on and so on. You're going to find that that's a day you could take even more bold decisions, bold risks. Like even on the 8th, I'm going to confront something head on myself. And I'm like, oh, but it's certain things that we have to deal with, certain things that you can't run from, certain things that has to be resolved. Because if not, it follows you. It follows you anywhere you go. So make sure that you even retweak your vision board that day. You can retweak that anytime, revamp it, write new things down that you want to manifest, short-term, long-term goals, all of those things, and you might even see things are flowing a little bit better for you. You're going to see that, wow, things are actually more in sync. That's why that happened, or this is why this happened. Why did all of those things happen then? Like, seriously, like, what's going on? Am I cursed? No, because these are certain things the universe, your soul, and your guides have been bringing to attention. Like, because they're like, you know what, we want to get this out of the way now to help you with your growth, to help you move forward, to help you get to your soul's calling and destiny. But nobody likes to go through stuff like that, right? We're like, really? Like even with me, I'm like, really? Seriously? But just don't get upset about it. Just deal with certain situations. Don't run from things. Like you can't, it can go really not so good to, oh my God, right? So you're going to feel this effect also because the 9th is the Aquarius full moon. So the 8th sleep could be on and off because we are interacting with that Aquarius full moon. It can be a lot more emotional, and really look back to February, what was going on then? Where are you guys now? What was happening? Like, I know what was happening with me in February. It was my biopsy. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's interesting how all of this is going on now, right? So really look back onto all of these things. So you might feel even a little bit ungrounded. You could be nervous. You could be like, but it's really important to say, what, are you facing things? Are you resolving things? And really pay attention to where you're getting pulled towards during this full moon. Your animals could act a little off, which is normal. They're very sensitive. There's more passings on the full moon as well, especially new moons. But full moons, can bring in emergencies. If you ever go to like a hospital during a full moon, they're really crazy busy because people get really emotional and lots of things can happen. I try to stay off the roads on a full moon, right? But of course, we have to live our life and continue and go. Interesting. I'm just going to bring this up before I go on because I just moved my hand and I have some cards beside me, and one of my crystal cards popped over. So I'm just going to show this to you right now. The card that came over was Find Peace Within. It literally jumped in the air. That's why I'm showing this right now. So this energy, what have I been saying? You guys look back on my videos. I've been saying it's really important to try to find that peace within. Do what it takes to find your peace. Because this full moon can bring up things that you're like, why am I still dealing with this? Why? This is when you got to look within and ask yourself, have I been really honest with myself? Have I been ignoring this? No matter how painful it is, we have to face situations because if we don't, it goes and goes and goes and boom. And then we're like, oh my God, it'd be like having a tower card, right? So this is why it's really, really important. Really reflect back on everything. And you might even find that you're going to want to let go of like certain restrictions, limiting beliefs that you've been holding on to, like breaking free from certain things that have been restricting you, like what has been restricting you. It's really important to think with your heart, like balance the mind, think with your heart, and even meditate a lot more, because when you take that time for you and meditate, you're going to start to see more clarity with situations. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, oh, that's why. So this full moon can be really, really emotional. You know what I mean? It can also be very creative. So you are going to be reflecting back upon Mercury retrograde when it started. Look at where you are now today. What were you dealing with? What did you let go of? People from the past came back. What happened? Did you get back together with them? Because we get a lot of exes from our past and people from the past coming back. Sometimes we just, connect with people like during Mercury retrograde, and that's the only time. Did you forgive someone? Did you forgive yourself? Like what happened? Let me know what's going on with you guys. So this is a very super huge, powerful time this week, as I always state. Really enhance and take advantage of this energy. You know what I mean? Don't push anything, because a lot of things are completing this year in cycles, and that could be a really good thing. Endings. For every endings, there's beginning, universal 9-year completion with things. And it very well can also be in a positive way of, certain things that you've been struggling with, let's say, it's now complete. It's like, you know what, you passed our test. You've been struggling with that issue or situation for years. You're going to be finally like, it's now ended. I get it, you know? So, or it all of a sudden could be an ending for just different things. Like, you guys know what's ending for you. We've been getting these signs and all of that to revamp to it's your time is over with that. And it could be a person, relationship, job, whatever it is. So this is a real time for you to even look more within. So you might even find on the 10th and 11th of August, you're going to be a lot more optimistic, because when Mercury retrograde ends, we still have a couple of weeks till the 25th that we're still going to be in that energy, but it starts to get lighter every day, thank God, right? So you're going to find that communication could flow a lot more better, a lot much better for you. The worst thing is like technical issues and so on. For me, I'm online all day, but most of us are on social media every day and such like that, right? So as I mentioned before, with the retrograde, messages get lost, messages get like out there somewhere, all of these things. Always check your junk folder, your spam folder. When you send a message, make sure it's going to the right people. So this is the time on the 10th and the 11th that you are going to start taking more action forward. Even on the 8th and the 9th, you guys could be like, you know what, these days, it's space for me. I need space for me. So it could prompt you, boom, the 10th and 11th, let's get forward. Let's move forward. Let's go this way. Let's get more creative. I'm really going to work on this and this now. Like during Mercury retrograde, it's a really good time to be creative as well. So it actually pushes you and helps you work through different things, like with projects and learning things quicker. And, I had to learn something new on my own. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like, how am I going to? And I did. And I'm like, I was just so excited about that because I'm like, I don't know how to do that. But the only way is to start taking these steps forward with trust and faith. Don't push, 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 right? So you're going to find that, this is when things could very well come in quickly as well this week. This is a time not to push or force anything, of course, right? Because the retrograde it kind of pulls you back to review and all of these things and boom, boom, boom. But this is where you could see quicker action coming in. How many of you saw certain opportunities from the past that came back? I had a couple of opportunities that were presented to me that was presented to me in the past, and I said no, and they came back. However, one of them I was going to consider, but then I got more details and I'm like, no. So opportunities can come back during certain time frames, and it could be the right timing. It could very well be, it's like a job. If you apply for a job, let's say, and beforehand, it didn't work out, it could come back. Hey, we have that position open now, right? We are moving into the eclipse in September, and oh my God, those are life-changing experiences. And we, you know, a lot can go on then, right? So that's what I'm saying. Really take advantage right now and work through things as much as you can, and and really pay attention because there's incoming surprises coming as well. Surprises can be either or. I'm like, okay, spirit, I vote for positive experiences and surprises. Like 555, when you're seeing those numbers, it's life changes. I see that quite often. I've had a lot of different life changes coming in for me, like, holy crap, right? So it's just a sign from your angels to show you that life changes are coming in. So when you're seeing certain numbers, it's like, thank you, spirit, for I'm very open to receive positive experiences, positive changes in my life. You know what I mean? Don't go into that fear zone, because with this manifesting power, bring it on, even worse, that you're not going to want to face. However, when we are faced with situations, deal with it. I keep bringing that up because believe me, you don't want to run from things, especially whenever it comes on from. It's interesting. I just had a little pop up here from a painting I did. Um, with I did a past life painting on someone, and it just come up. I completely forgot about that until it came up now. You know how your computer brings up certain things like, oh my God, and he was the past person, and boom. So I'll probably hear from him this week sometime. So you will still have past people coming up to you. There's soulmate, twin flames, destined, encounters coming in and such like that. Just really, really pay attention. Really, really pay attention to this week. Just because somebody from the past, it doesn't mean it's a good thing. It could be karmic clearing as well. So you can always book a reading with me, and I can tell you exactly who that person is, what's going to happen. So this is the time to really kick it up a notch or two or 10 or 100. What was it? What was that cook's name? From New Orleans. He'd go bam, Emerald Degassi, I think his name was. I loved his show. I loved his show. He'd go bam. So, anyways, so the 12th and the 13th of August, what's going on then? There's really huge opportunities coming in on the 12th and the 13th. This is a time to really seize opportunities that you're in alignment with. Opportunities can come at any given time, and you have to ask yourself, is that the direction I want to move towards? Is that direction that feels right for me, more in alignment with my soul's calling, with my destiny, and so on? This is a time when you need to keep continually planting intentions. You're going to find that your heart's more open. You're going to be more compassionate towards other people. You know what I mean? People could be showing more of their kindness. People very well could be sending you messages from their heart. There's a lot of unconditional love that's going to go on from the 12th and the 13th of August. We all should be expressing from our heart and being authentic and speaking with unconditional love anyways. So you're going to see that even more and more and more and more. It's a really creative days as well, like really creative. So again, pay attention to, if it's a project you're working on, or if you guys want to like do some renos on your home, like whatever it is that you're more creative, it's a really good lucky day as well. The 12th and the 13th. 12th and the 13th. You are also going to see your worth more. It's always good that when we see our worth, sometimes we can forget, and then somebody could say something to us and we're like, oh, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? We all have our ups and downs and so on and so on. And also, you're going to be reflecting back on past lessons learned. That can be painful, right? As we reflect back on lessons learned, it could be like, oh my gosh, right? But lessons are normally painful anyways, right? So just pay attention to it more and more and more. Don't go into the ego and the pride and stuff. Look within your heart, look within your soul. Certain things, like, let's say if they go wrong, I look at myself first. I'm like, how did I attract that? Or where was my thoughts? Or what happened? Not everything is our fault. No, of course not. Right. But when you really look at it, you very well will see. And that's when you could go through that dark night of the soul, releasing, healing. We're still healing with that Chiron energy till the 2nd of January, as I mentioned before. That's going to continue on. So yes, certain memories once upon a time ago with that were painful or betrayal or hurt, that's going to continually come up. Don't run from it. It's purposely coming up, as I mentioned, to help you heal. So this is really important for you to be open to messages from the spirit world. Spirit, I'm open to messages. Please give me a sign. Even I had like a wasp nest outside of my patio door, and I'm like, really? Seriously? Like our summer here has been really bad, like storms every day, really bad weather every day. It's really sucked. But what can you do, right? So I had to get I talked to the landlord and they had somebody come out, the pest guy, to remove the nest, and all of that, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to go outside, right? He says, wait about 12 hours. So anyways, so the next day I kind of peeked myself out the window, and right there, like on my step, was a really big feather. And I'm like, that wasn't there the day before. So that was a message from the angels, guides saying, you're protected, everything's okay now. So really, really pay attention to the signs. They are there. Spirit, give me a sign. Give me a physical sign. I'm open to receive. Do that, and you'll be surprised. Don't go forcing for it, and really pay attention to your dreams even more. Like, we have that meteor shower on the 12th. Like, look out in the dark that night. Photographers are going to be out there, like, taking photos and stuff like that. So your sleep is going to be light. You could be feeling like, why am I feeling all of this energy? Like, boom, I got a lot of energy. It's because of that meteor, Perseids meteor shower. So when certain things like this happen cosmically, you could very well have more lucid dreams. Pay attention, write your dreams down when you wake up. I state that all the time. Really be open to that. There's so many, but I don't know. I have dream. I just don't get it. Write it down. You can always book a reading with me. I can tell you exactly what that message is for you from the spirit world or whoever it was that's coming in. So the 14th and 15th, as we close the week, this is the time where you could be a little bit more tired. Like the sleep could be on and off from the Lionsgate Portal till the full moon and that meteor shower and stuff. So you could be feeling a little bit more tired and exhausted and such like that. You could be feeling a little bit anxious as well, because a lot can happen in these past few days from the 8th to the 15th. A lot can happen during this week. Huge new doors could open, boom, soulmates coming. So much is going to happen. So you could be like, you know what, I even want more space right now. And you're going to find that just focus on your priorities, what needs to be done. We can plan all kinds of things to go on during our day and the total opposite happen. Like things can happen just like that. And you're like, well, my day was planned like this, but this happened. Well, of course, that's life, like we all have, like boom, things happen to us unexpectedly, or we have to deal with this. And of course, you know what I mean? But make sure you're dealing with your priorities, what has to get done, and so on and so on. You're also going to see more of who your soul tribes are, who you really connect with. I mean, we all let certain people go that we just don't connect with anymore, and it doesn't mean that we've walked away from them forever, right? It could be like, what, I'm on a different path, or, maybe something happened where you're like, what, I'm really seeing who you really are. Or you could very well be like, I just need space and time to myself. So it's like that inner journey within. but you're going to see more who you can really talk to. I mean, when you can talk to somebody and just be yourself, that's, and you feel very comfortable with that person, that's like your soul tribe. When you have to hold back and feel like, gosh, I feel like I have to walk on eggshells and I'm talking to that person, that's not your person. That's not your group, because your soul tribe and group will accept you as is, no matter. Nobody's perfect. We all have different flaws. We're human, right? So it's like having that support system with, geez, who can I vent out to, or who can I really, all of these things, right? But I can't talk to my friend anymore about this because they just shut me down right then and there. Does that not say a lot? Or they're just judging me, or does that not say a lot? We grow, our life experiences can really, change us, of course, right? It can really bring us towards our destiny and our purpose even more. Our crises can give you that huge push forward in a really positive way, or it can set you back, really can set you back. So pay attention to past lessons. Even, as I mentioned, look back to February, what happened then, and you could have something maybe similar come up around this time, as I mentioned. Mercury retrograde is about health and such. How are you going to handle it this time compared to when you handle it then? We learn, we evolve. We're like, you know what? Yes, this sucks, really sucks. However, I'm going to handle this different now. So really sit back and take that time. And it was interesting because it's like we get messages, right? Like the other day, I was having a really kind of a off day, like a bad day. Let's put it. We all have our good bad days, and I was kind of like walking around with my head down, and oh my God, like my mind, I just was feeling like just need some space, and I'm like, yeah. So I grabbed my phone, and I had to go somewhere, and I locked my door, walking down my hallway, opened up the other door to go outside. My phone rings. And I'm like, oh my God. I looked at my phone and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, I can't answer that because I knew it was something that I wished for. It was something that I had wanted to manifest. There it was. Here was this phone call, and I'm like, I didn't answer it. I'm like, I can't. Because as soon as that person called me, and I'm like, is that what you really want? So I went out, did my thing. I came back and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna deal with this. So I get on with my day. And it was like, and I'm starting to unwind. And it was, I don't know, maybe 9:30 at night. And I'm like sitting back, just watching a show, and boom, the phone rings again. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my gosh. It's I'm like, okay, Jenny, you got to deal with this. Like, you have to deal with this because, like, they're phoning you at 9:30 at night. Like, come on. So I didn't answer it. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. So I ended up texting them because I'm like, let me just text them back first, just because I'm like, so I text them back first, and I asked them one question. It depended what they would have said. And they actually said, actually, no, it's this. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no, this isn't going to work for me. So really pay attention to what you want to manifest and everything. Like, be very specific, very detailed. Like, it's like even that phone call, it's something that I am seriously considering again. Um, but I won't know. I won't know for sure. I'm just kind of letting things go on and on and on, getting things done and out of the way. So this is what I'm saying to you guys, that, you know, when things aren't happening exactly the way you want it, and all of these other things are going on, and you think, oh my God, this is bad. No, it's not. You know, the spirit world is like, no, we want you to deal with this other stuff here that's going on to get it out of the way so then we can present this to you. Right? I'm just saying, you guys really pay attention. When you work with the energy works with you. Nobody likes to go through stuff, right? Like I have my x-rays and ultrasound booked in at the end of August, and I'm like, oh my God, like an ultrasound, you got to drink all that water and hold on. Oh, anyways, I'm just saying, right? Get stuff done and out of the way. Mercury retrograde, deal with your health, deal with stuff now. So that way it'll work out for the best, right? So, anyways, let's just pull a couple of cards. Not everybody's going to connect with it. I don't use cards when I'm with a client. I'm clairvoyant, psychic, medium. You know, I read into your past lives, you know, see what's coming up, your level of consciousness, and so on. But because this is YouTube, I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you guys just to see, you know, what does messages say to you from the universe. So if you do connect with this card, it's for you. That's the message from the spirit world. So let's find out from Ancestor Spirit Oracle Guides by Jade Smith or Jade Sky. What's the message from the universe from the 8th to the 15th of August? Like, oh my God, we're moving to September. You're really quick, right? The eclipse season. Eclipse seasons are life changing. Like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm getting that ultrasound done at the end of it. Like that, I'm not going to get the results till September. Like, but anyways, don't go into fear, whatever. Just resolve things, right? Just face it. Don't run, you guys. 8 to the 15th. 8 to the 15th. Earth magic. Earth magic. Nurture or nature, rituals, and charms. It's actually a really cute card. Get in touch with nature. You know, I love trees. Like I love trees. You know, anytime I paint, I always have trees in every single painting. You know, and actually I sold one of my paintings quite some time ago with this magical tree I had in it, right? Shocked by that, to be honest. I'm not no artist. Um, but see, look at the tree here with the little face in it. You know, like trees have their own heartbeat and their own energy. You know, if you're ever kind of feeling ungrounded, hug a tree. You know, I tell everybody, go hug a tree, not a skinny, tiny little tree, hug a bigger, thicker tree. And just kind of stand there and hugging it for a moment. Close your eyes and see what you're feeling. You very well could get messages in there. Like I'm sensitive. I get messages from trees. I get messages from energy. Energy is energy. You know, look at this woman here. She's got a stick holding. There's some little fairies on the side. You know, look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? Right? I just love that. What a cool message. I love that. So let's have a little talk with Lord Ganesh, because Lord Ganesh helps you work your obstacles. I have like a huge statue of Ganesh. I have a few of them, but oh, my statue here, it's like concrete. When I moved in here, that the movers had to move it. It's so heavy that you can't. It's very large. But anyways, I've had that for years. So Whispers of Lord Ganesh by Angela Hartfeld. Right. There we go. There we go. Okay. So let's see what the message is for you guys. The 8th to the 15th, like 8 to the 15th. What intentions did you guys set? You know, like my video. Really helps. Really helps. Let me know what's going on. 8 to the 15th of August. What's the message? You know, expect unexpected, as I mentioned this week, surprises, like all of these kinds of things. Lionsgate Portal. How many of you are Leos? 8 to the 15th of August. 8 to the 15th of August. 8 to the 15th of August. There we go. Determination. Yes. Keep your mind positive, no matter what's being thrown at you. Like, I will take a negative situation and turn it into a positive, one way or the other. Like, one way or the other. What did I learn from that? Because our experiences, even when we have challenges, gives you strength, gives you courage. You learn from that experience, and when certain situations are difficult, it's like, well, I don't want to go through that again, right? This is year of completions. This is year of healing, the year of the snake. So you're healing, shedding skin, rebirth, and snakes are also deceptive. So really pay attention to, people in situations that have been, people that haven't been honest and be very deceptive and stuff like that. It hurts when we see that. And, we all see different people like that and so on and so on. And it's up to you, of course, how you deal with it. It's unfortunate, but that's life. So really take a look at this. Like, what a powerful card. Like, what a powerful card. Like, I was really drawn to, these colors today as well, like with the Buddha, and I have Buddha statues on, like throughout my place and stuff as well, right? So really pay attention to, this is a real spiritual year as well. So some of you guys very well, have, awoken even more so. The world has been awakening for a while, but you might even find during this time that, wow, I'm not the same person anymore. You've grown, you've evolved. Be determined in a positive way. How am I going to get there? One step at a time. One step at a time, you guys, right? There's many things I'd like to do, and I'm like, okay, it's just like go, 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 go. And I'm like, really? We all go through that. Boom, we get thrown back down on the ground. No, you're not doing that. You have to deal with this first. No. And I'm like, really? Then when you look back, you can be like, oh, now I understand why that happened. So let's talk to Stephen Farmer, messages from the Spirit of Nature Oracle. I like Stephen Farmer. 8th to the 15th, what's the message? Nature will really ground you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it will really ground you guys. 8 to the 15th. 8 to the 15th. Earth. Home. Well, of course, Earth is our home. How we treat our home and our environment. There's energy. Where are you feeling at home? Like, where are you really feeling at home? I'm feeling so ungrounded, Jenny. Get in touch with nature. Tune out the world. The news is very negative. I haven't watched the news in years. Honestly, I haven't. I just read into the energy if I need to know something, right? But the earth is where you make your home, no matter where it is. You know what I mean? But that person has like this huge like mansion, and I'm just kind of living on my on a sofa. Earth is your home, no matter where you're at. You can make it a home. You can make your home comfortable. Like, if you're on a sofa, let's just say, make it comfortable. The bigger your home, the more expensive it's going to be with your bills, electricity, gas, and water, and all of those things, right? But really make it where you are your home. If it's making your place more comfortable, if it's like downsizing, if it's like putting up some pictures on the wall, or changing things around, really make it a home. When you get more in touch with nature, it's like, wow, like Earth is such a beautiful place. Don't look at the ugliness with the world that's out there. Look at what the Earth is showing you. There's so many different changes, as I've said for, quite some time. There's more changes now than there has been in over 10,000 years. So the earth is changing. The energy is changing on earth. Why is that? There's many reasons for that. But number one is, when you don't respect Mother Nature starts speaking back to you in not a good way. So when you show respect, you'll get respect shown back to you. But I don't like that person, Jenny. Then why are you hanging out with them? Seriously, seriously, right? So on that note, if you do want to book a reading with me, soulworkwithjenny.com. I'm on Instagram, Jenny G Cousins. Follow me there. I'm all over the place. And until next week's Cosmic Vibes. Bye.